Michael Penix is kind of just steering the ship, and Bijan is running the show.
Transcendent, man.
He's
Bijan is one of, he's easily one of the 5 best running backs I've ever covered.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So, yeah, it should be heavy Bijan, and this game has a lot of shootout potential, that's for sure.
I referred to Bijan as gigantic Barry Sanders a couple of weeks ago. Like, I think people should not be able to move like that and do the moves that he does at that size, but unbelievable player.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is up? Welcome to Matchup Points, the Week 7 edition here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen, Graham Barfield, and Brett Whitefield, ready to rock and roll. I can't believe it's been 7 days since we did the last one. It seems like it was about 4 days ago, even though I just said off the air that this season is not going as quickly as last year, but week to week, it is quickly. And without any further ado, let's get into the Thursday night football game, Steelers, Bengals. And Brett, start with you and, kind of the film review of Aaron Rodgers. Seems like he's playing pretty well. They don't have a lot of weapons. I don't know about the offense. It's a struggle bus, but Rodgers seems to be playing well, Brett.
Yeah, Rodgers is doing the one thing I didn't think he was capable of, and that's just running the offense.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he'd get there. Arthur Smith has such a unique way he does things. It's all heavy personnel, not the concepts that Rodgers is used to, and a lot of under center stuff. And he's running the offense the way Arthur wants it run, and I'm giving him a little credit for that. He looks pretty good, turning the clocks back a little bit. The mobility looks better too than it did early in the season. So, yeah, I've been mildly impressed with Rodgers.
I guess that's what happens when you're 40. Yeah, you don't have the same swagger, basically, that you did in your 20s and 30s. Well, Graham, how about this backfield? I mean, what a disaster last week was. Over the last 2 weeks, it's like 2 weeks ago we were victory lapping a little bit on Jaylen Warren, and nope. Do you think this is going to devolve into a 3-man thing? Because, my takeaway has always been this year that they're going to need Caleb Johnson at some point.
Right now, yeah, I think it's going to be at worst like a compartmentalized split. And it's, Caleb Johnson mixed in. But to me, the bigger factor is Kenny Gainwell playing way more on passing now. He's got 6 targets on 13 routes. Warren had 11 routes, 2 targets. So, yeah, it's like I expect Warren definitely to lead this backfield in touches at the season's end. But, between Gainwell mixing in way more in passing downs, maybe Caleb Johnson plays more out of the bye. Yeah, I just kept moving Jaylen Warren down in the rest of the season ranks. This is an amazing spot, though. Going against the Bengals, like they should be able to run the ball pretty well and put up some points here and kind of control the game script. But yeah, it sucks because this backfield it's another Arthur Smith backfield, man. Like it's just he can't help himself.
Yeah, Bengals giving up a lot of yards, adjusted yards before contact, which I don't know. Gut feeling on that. Probably a Jaylen Warren situation. Brett, any thoughts on that? And also DK Metcalf. I'm a DK Metcalf hater, yet I seem to be backing him more than everybody else. He's not getting a lot of targets, but last week I played the prop. It was actually my number 1 prop, and even though he had not been good against man, I'm like, he's been a man beater his whole career, and it seems like he's still running pretty well. Where are you with DK in the backfield?
Yeah, DK looks good to me. I just think it's a relatively low volume offense, but they don't really have anyone else, right? Calvin,
right.
Austin, whether he's banged up or just not the guy we hoped he would be, it's not really popping. So.
He's already out this week too.
Yeah, there you go. What I'm really interested in is props for Jonnu Smith and Darnell Washington.
Yes.
Cincinnati's getting gashed by tight ends. 280 yards allowed and 5 touchdowns to inline tight ends already this season, that's crazy. And Pittsburgh is playing more 12 and 13 personnel than pretty much anyone in the league. So, and Washington seems to have passed Pat Freiermuth on the depth chart. I think that's
incredible.
Played like he doubled him up in snaps this week. So
Well, they're probably doing that to boost their running game, I would think.
yeah, it's basically like an extra offensive tackle.
Yeah,
but
he's
also
a sixth lineman out there.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's out there catching passes now, and his prop's going to be really small. That's why I'm interested in it. Probably won't come out till Friday, but
right.
Take a peek at that since they've always been bad against tight ends. They're really bad.
Oh yeah. I did throw in Jonnu as a trade for guy, Graham, just thinking that he needs another guy here, like a weekly guy. You know what I mean? And any thoughts there, Graham? Jonnu, I didn't give Jonnu love, and then I was regretting it for about a week before the season, and I don't regret it right now because he's not doing all that much.
Yeah, I thought Jonnu would be the second guy here, and he just kind of hasn't established himself as that. And then I worry, when Calvin Austin comes back, they're going to mix him in. I really think we're kind of trending towards like this just being, DK Metcalf every single week.
Hey, that's not bad. We'll take it. On the other side, real quick, your thoughts on Flacco? Seemed to be an upgrade over Browning, sitting in that pocket there. Obviously, he's going to be looking to win from the pocket. Do you feel better about Chase and Higgins, basically? Do you feel better about everybody? I mean, I do, but it's only one game.
I don't really feel better about them. 2 weeks. I mean, garbage time counts for fantasy, but 2 weeks in a row, Chase got a garbage time TD. I think that's kind of notable, but
it was a hell of a catch.
It was. Yeah, it was a sweet catch. And then Steelers, their D line is kind of back. I know they started the season really slow, not getting after it, but they are coming alive. And that Bengals O-line is just so stinking bad. So I don't have a great feeling about this one. But.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's sample size Joe, like 2-3 games. Oh, look, he's great. And then sample size increases and he starts throwing to the other team, getting sacked, all that good stuff. Well, move on to the next game is what we're going to do, and that would be the London game, Rams Jaguars. Graham, to you, you're Mr. Jaguar. I mean, it's a week-to-week proposition with Travis Etienne. I was saying sell. Where are you with him? I know he's getting all the touches, but doesn't always produce in this backfield.
Yeah, I still think Etienne is pretty good RB2 for the rest of the season. Like, doesn't have RB1 upside just because this offense is just still kind of meh. Like, not a ton of explosive plays, not a ton of red zone opportunities, but he's just like sharply outplaying Bashal Tootin, out-snapping Bashal Tootin. Last week, again, 60% to 15% for Tootin. Quentin Allen's also playing a little bit in the passing game, kind of being, their pass down blocker. They just trust him in that position. So, yeah, Etienne is still a pretty good RB2. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is starting to come around. He had another bad drop, but he's starting to come around, getting a little more aggressive, playing over the middle.
Yep.
Hands look a little better. The route running is a little crisper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to help Trevor Lawrence, obviously, because, right now it's just BTJ. Travis Hunter has been very, very slow to come on, and they just lost Britton Strange.
Yeah.
So they desperately need this kind of upward trajectory to keep going for BTJ.
Yeah, not happening here, Brett, with Travis Hunter. Any thoughts on Trevor? A little bit of a slow blinker still. I guess that'll always be the case.
Yeah, a little bit of slow blinker. They're in their last game too. I think the offensive line got a little exposed against that really exotic front. Right. I will say I really like Travis Etienne in this game specifically. The Rams' run defense is being completely propped up on schedule right now. The Houston Texans can't run the football. The Tennessee Titans can't run the football. The Philadelphia Eagles can't run the football. They did play the Colts. The game script kind of got out of hand a little bit where John Taylor had like 4 carries in the second half. 49ers can't run the football, and then the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens cannot run the football. So I think this Rams run defense is actually kind of suspect. I think their efficiency numbers are being propped up a little bit. And Jacksonville, seeing what we saw on tape last week with the pass protection issues against a good front,
right?
Rams are going to basically give you a lot of the same looks. So I think Jacksonville has to come in with the mindset of we are going to run the football and take advantage of that aggressive, get downhill approach from their D tackles and make them pay. I'm really in on ETN this week for sure.
I mean, that makes a ton of sense because otherwise you're dropping Trevor back with shaky protection and holding on to the ball. Like he's holding on to the ball. Like that's kind of what he does, right? Taking sacks. So it totally makes sense. And then for the Rams, Graham, I mean, Articulate your interest in, I guess, Jordan Whittingham, and how high should Devontae be this week with a good matchup, by the way.
I think Devontae is the best receiver play on this slate. Just amazing matchup. The Jags are the worst team once again against outside wide receivers. No Puka. Adams has just been like waiting for a huge blow up game. He's going to have it here. I'm with you. I think Jordan Whittington's a pretty good play. Tutu Atwell is banged up. Has a hamstring injury, might not play in this game. Jordan Whittington was pretty good last year, kind of like small sample, but pretty decent efficiency numbers. According to Fantasy Points data metrics, was top of the league and first downs, yards per route run. And he had 2 games last year, John, where he had more than 50% of the snaps. He had 62 yards, 89 yards in both those, 8 targets or more in both. So I'm with you. I think Whittington can kind of be that move player in this offense where he can kind of be in motion, do a little bit of the Puka stuff over the middle. Obviously, he's not anywhere close talent-wise to what Puka can do, and Puka's like a second tight end out there with all the blocking he does. But just in terms of how they move him around the formation, use him over the middle and the horizontally breaking routes, I think Whittington is in play this week for flex decisions. But yeah, this is like Devontae Adams. If he doesn't have like 80 yards and a touchdown in this game, I'll be surprised.
And Brett, real quick, people worried about Stafford all summer. Like, how many quarterbacks are playing better than Matt Stafford this year? I guarantee you can count them on one hand.
Yeah, he's cooled off a little bit. Last couple games have been
right,
but yeah, I mean, he's dealing for the most part. So, not to steal your term, John, skank tight end. I kind of like Tyler Higbee this week.
Jags. Hey, I used to be a big Higbee guy. I freaking took him over TJ Hawkinson in our freaking dynasty draft, and I loved Hawkinson.
Oh man, yeah, this Jags defense is also bad against tight ends. They're giving up 41 yards a game to inline tight ends and 12.3 yards per attempt to inline tight ends, which is kind of crazy. They've given just a bunch of explosive plays to tight ends is what it comes down to. And
I mean that,
and with no Puka in there, I think Higbee also healthy, might get a couple looks in this. So probably more of a prop thing. If you can find a nice prop on him, I think you get in on that. I don't know that I'm playing him in fantasy, but
that's not bad though. I mean, like every team stinks against tight ends now. Like
it's true.
100%, right? Every team stinks against tight ends. It's like the only almost sure thing for some offenses. So yeah, he's got 9 targets, 6 grabs the last couple of weeks. I bet you he was a tight end 1 this past week, 4 for 40 with a tutty. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. You could absolutely do worse. Let's move on. Kyron Williams should get the ball, by the way, getting a lot of the receiving work. So you like that. He can probably catch 3-4 balls in this one. Saints and Bears. And I haven't looked at the tape, but Brett, is Caleb Williams progressing here? Or I mean, I was watching 3 games on Monday, so I didn't see a ton of it. I'm watching my Dodgers as well. But yeah, talk about Caleb.
Caleb's having one of the weirdest seasons I can remember a quarterback having. But no, he was god awful on Monday night.
Was he?
Oh, dude, he was so bad.
Yeah.
Defense didn't make him pay for his mistakes, then that's on them, right? But he threw the ball to a defender like 3 times in that game, hit him right in the chest. Missed another 7 or 8 throws, just completely, sailed a couple or dirted a couple. I think what's really interesting, if you guys are familiar with John Costco, one of my buddies, he works over at PFF. He tweeted a really funny stat where, so Ben Johnson stated that he scripts about 15 plays a game. I think that's true for most teams, obviously.
Right.
So on script plays, that first 15, Caleb Williams has like the 6th highest EPA per dropback in the league. Off script, he is dead last.
I mean, that's terrible.
So after the first drive, essentially, Caleb he cannot function, and that was very evident the other night. For that, it's probably the 3rd time he's done that in a big spot as well. So I just don't love what I see. I do think Ben Johnson is the ultimate elixir, though. He gets them enough schemed up looks where it's like, I think these guys are still viable for sure, especially like a DeAndre Swift or a Roma Dunze. But and then, I think we're on Luther Burden watch now. Luther Burden's route shares come up a little. I mean, still like 35%, nothing to get super excited about, but yeah.
Yeah. And Graham, I guess the one thing is a little bit of a disconnect because the fantasy output for Caleb has been pretty good. And I'm just watching how he's conducting himself. It does seem like he's taking to the coaching and he's probably being coached hard, but I guess where we've always been with Caleb Williams is where we still are, in that you literally have no idea. Once you get past those scripted plays, like, you almost have no idea what he's going to do, how he's going to do. I'm shocked that Odunze didn't produce last week. So
Yeah.
any thoughts on this Bear offense? I did win that DeAndre Swift prop. I can't stand Swift, but I wasn't down on him this year because he's it, man. Like, this is the only game in town.
I was with you on Swift. I didn't like push him too hard, but I had him a little ahead of ADP just because, like you said, they got nothing behind him. I just want to add to what Brett said, though. Like, this is a Ben Johnson and surrounding talent thing, not a Caleb Williams thing. It wasn't just like the missed throws. He also had some throws that he should have made. Rome Odunze was running wide open twice in that game, and he just didn't throw him the ball. He's holding the ball longer than Justin Fields. And if you're holding the ball longer than Justin Fields, that is a very bad sign. His catchable throw rate is 70%, y'all. Like, it's bad. Like, he's fourth worst in catchable throw rate. Only Dylan Gabriel, Russell Wilson, and Cam Ward are worse. So, yeah, it really is just like the manufactured, kind of plays that Ben Johnson's putting on his plate. Plus, he's scrambling a little bit. He got another touchdown last week, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, for fantasy, he's still fine. I've moved him up, honestly, in the season long stuff, just because he is producing. He can scramble. We like these weapons. This is another good matchup. I mean, the Saints are pretty terrible in the back end. They've really struggled to pressure the passer. But yeah, I've been struggling with Caleb Williams all year. But yeah, this is a clear Rome Odunze bounce back spot. Like I said, I think he had a touchdown called back in that game too. Kind of a weird illegal formation penalty. I don't know if it should have happened.
Wow.
So yeah, Odunze bounce back against the Saints secondary. You're playing Caleb and you're kind of holding your nose. It's kind of like the Justin Fields effect. You just you rack up your 18 to 20 fantasy points and don't watch the game.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm listening to him after a big game in week 2 or 3, whatever. I'm listening to him like 3 weeks in a row, trade him because I don't think he's any good. But then I'm like, he's a QB1. Even now, he's a freaking QB8 in fantasy points per game. So a little bit of a disconnect there, but got to give Ben Johnson some credit for that. And maybe those design plays that you mentioned. Yeah. So I do think that we're getting some positive Ben Johnson ripple effects here with Caleb, but he's still not really close to putting it all together. How about Rattler? Every week, I'm like, he's kind of looks like the same guy every week. He seems to have a better clock in his head compared to last year because the clock was broken last year, Brett. And, he moves. He's got a quick release. I mean, he looks good throwing a ball, honestly. So where are you with Mr. Rattler?
Yeah, Rattler has very much surprised me. And in fact, on my show today, First Read, Joe put me on the spot and asked me, buy or sell Spencer Rattler as the QB of the future for the Saints. And I bought it. I actually bought that. When I look at the QB class incoming, and not to get way out over our skis here, but like there's not a great pathway to improve at quarterback right now. And so I think Spencer Rattler's done enough for me to say, yeah, I think on a rookie deal, he makes literally nothing. I think why not give it another shot next year?
Think about this passing game and, well, really the passing game, Graham. One thing you do like is it's kind of Shaheed and Olave, right? Like there's no third receiver. Now Juwan Johnson is kind of being phased out a little bit. So Mr. Expected Points Olave looking more than fine.
Mr. Expected Points is perfect for him because that's what he's been. He's always
EP Olave. He's EP Olave.
There you go. I mean, he's been the guy to buy low on just based on volume now for 2 years. He finally had a pretty good game last week. I think, Rattler is playing better, but he's still kind of held back by this offense just being kind of meh. Rattler has certainly played, better than expectation. For this week specifically, though, I mean, it's the Bears they've not been able to cover anybody, really. I mean, since they lost Jalen Johnson, Commanders didn't have a receiver last week. Deebo Samuel was hurt. Terry McLaurin was out. They had to funnel their offense through Chris Moore, who looked pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, this is this is an Olave and Shaheed spot. I know Shaheed didn't get it done last week, but I still think he's a pretty good flex this week.
I don't care what any birth certificate says. Chris Moore's been in the NFL since 2004. I don't care. I don't care if he was 7 years old at the time. He's been in the NFL since 2004. The guy's been here for multiple decades. Moving on. Graham, any thoughts on the backfield? I don't know, man.
Good
Yeah.
match.
What was that, Brett?
Yeah, it's a good matchup. Chicago can't stop.
Yeah.
True.
I know. That's what I wrote up too. Like, that's the one thing we can hang on with Kamara this week, or hang our hat on this week with him. It's just like, yeah, it's a good matchup. But yeah, they're splitting snaps. Kendre Miller's playing a lot more. I will say Kamara finally did get more involved in the passing game. But yeah, 65% snap share last week, splitting with Kendre Miller. They'll probably get Taysom Hill a little more involved, throughout the season. But yeah, this is definitely one of the better matchups Kamara is going to have. So I listed him as a sit last week. That worked, but I'm playing him this week. He's okay.
I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, Kamara led in the snap share, but and route share, as you said, but Miller carry share was 53 to 13%. So, I mean, is that where we're going to land and have Kamara be the passing down guy? I don't think they know, so I guess we don't know. Moving on to, this should be quick. Miami at Cleveland. Over under Graham, Quinshon Judkins, 150. Go. Over or under?
Oh man. Over. I might go over. That game last week was weird. Like, Dylan Gabriel played the worst game I've seen a quarterback play this season. He just missed it was a laughable amount of easy throws that he missed.
That's supposed to be his thing though, Graham. What the heck?
Dude, like, the easy short throws over the middle and outside the numbers, like, he did okay in his first start, and that was a disaster. My eyes still hurt from watching that game, man. Like, there's no way they have the same plan this week. They had a 7%, 6% PRO last week, pass rate over expectation. Yeah. That's going to swing back to Judkins' favor. Miami's just, like you said, giving up the most rushing yards per game. They're just getting destroyed on the ground. They can't tackle, and they're giving up a ton of yards just before contact. So this is just a Judkins just smash spot.
And then Harold Fannon's catching 9 balls.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's what I was about to say. I don't have much else on the Browns. I think Njoku's going to miss this game, so it'll be a lot of Fannin just running those short kind of dump off routes that we saw last week and we've seen this season from him. But yeah, the Browns, this is like, they're going to just put the whole offense on Quinshon Judkins' shoulder this week, I think.
Totally. And then Brett, it's pretty good schematic matchup for Tua. Should be able to get the ball to Waller and Waddle. Any thoughts on Tua? It could be worse.
Yeah. No, on paper, schematic matchup for sure. When Tua plays fronts like this, he just struggles, man. Sure. I worry about the guy's safety even. Like, this Cleveland front is violent. They are violent. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about Tua this week, but if they can protect him a little bit, yeah, he should have a good day. Waddle should have a good day too.
How are they going to utilize Achane in this one? Like, any thoughts there? We're going to have to use him as a glorified receiver, most likely.
Yeah. They've been using him more as a receiver, which is awesome for fantasy. They've been splitting him out wide. McDaniel's doing a really good job kind of designing some stuff for him. Just they're so thin at receiver. They're splitting snaps with Nick Westbrook and Malik Washington. So yeah, Achane's receiving role looks great. I'm with you guys. It's a great schematic matchup, but that was my note too. Is like, the Browns are going to be able to pressure Miami here for sure. And whenever Tua is under pressure, that usually doesn't go well.
Yeah, he's one of the worst second reaction quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah,
Tua. You know what I mean?
He's not the worst.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, he might be. When he's on his first read, he's fine. But
yeah,
you take him off that first read, it's a little sketchy.
Per sources, I'm told his favorite podcast of all time, First Read Podcast.
Oh, nicely done.
There you go. Raiders at Chiefs. Graham, to you, over under Rashee Rice targets, the number's 12.
I had 11.5 in my head when you were bringing that up, so we're right on it. I'll lean slightly over. My only concern is the Raiders just won't be able to move the ball, but Chiefs are the most pass-heavy team in the league. Mahomes is doing Mahomes things again. They refuse to run the ball, so yeah, I think the only question with Rice is, like, does he play like part-time-ish, like 75-80%, or they just give him the full snap share? And I think I'm leaning more towards the full snap share this week. Like, he's had full calendar year to get this knee injury right. Obviously he's coming back from suspension, so he's should be fully well conditioned. Yeah, just super bullish on Mahomes. I moved him up to QB3 in the rest of season rankings, John. I moved him up ahead of Jane Daniels. I think he's in that like top 2, top 3 conversation now. It's just like Allen and Lamar just have the insanely high rushing floor. I don't know if Mahomes is going to keep up. Like, he has had to run more this year just because they've been playing in playoff games, but maybe we'll see that trend down a little bit more with Mahomes in his rushing. But yeah, he's got his guy back. Worthy's healthy. Kelsey's healthy. Like, it's full go here for Mahomes. Where would you rank Mahomes rest of the season, John?
Oh, I'm with you. You know,
okay.
I had him in my draft plan article, and I wrote a note. And I'm like, I'm not going to list him as a target because I tried this last year. I was a year too early on this. But just FYI, like, I've been told that he's sick and tired of this crap, and they're throwing it down the field. I'm like, all right, they got Tyquan Thornton. You know, Worthy showed some signs, and now Rice back. So, Brett, where are you? Like, can they do this all year without a consistent running game? I think they might be able to. And then also, like, do you pivot and maybe move someone like a Kelsey? Like, maybe Kelsey gets pinched a little bit with Rice.
Yeah, oh, for sure he does. But yeah, they can do it without a running game because this is basically the running game. Rashi is the running game.
He is. Yeah. And Kelsey.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It does. I think it will nerf Kelsey a little bit. If you look at Rice's role going back to 2023 from week 13 on into the first 3 games last year, 40% first read share with Mahomes, which is
that's all that zone beater stuff
underneath. They just kill zones. Rice was the best receiver against zone last year.
He's the closest thing after the catch to a Deebo Samuel we've seen since prime Deebo Samuel. So
and he's way more dynamic than Kelsey.
Way more dynamic than Kelsey. And guess what? His man win rate in his career is still like 22%. So he's not bad at that even. It's just it's a great role, man. And so I do think he's gonna smash. 11.5 receptions is funny. I think I'd still take the over probably.
I remember that was our first Senior Bowl, and you pointed out Reishi, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's not getting great separation, but he's making all the plays. Pretty much.
Yeah, I was the highest on Reishi in the industry by a mile. The only thing I am mad at myself for is I knocked him down my board a little bit because of some off-field stuff I had heard about. And
well, you weren't completely off the right.
Still pulled the trigger in the second round.
Yeah, but that nothing. I don't think you're ever going to beat that Puka call. By the way, I mean, keep trying.
Yeah. Brett's got a long career ahead of him. We'll see, but the Puka call is an all-timer.
Hey, you're looking at a guy who literally has not topped his first call 31 years ago. Since then, Isaac Bruce, the next Jerry Rice.
Wow.
Get him in your league. Undrafted in my league, and I still haven't topped it. Still, 31 years, I'll never top it. But
that's literally like the Puka call, basically. That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the Raiders side, that my Kelsey note is that, you know, the 12 games that Rice has played, more than 55% of the snaps over the last years, Kelsey's averaging just 7.1 half PPR points per game. That make him like tight end 20.
Wow.
So we were, you know, Brett, you were saying he's going to get pinched. I've been saying sell Kelsey in my article every single week. If you can sell Kelsey, it's such a weird year at tight end. Like, you might not have another option, but this is like your last week to, I think, get out of the Kelsey business, because it should mainly be, like Brett was saying, the Rice offense with a lot of Xavier Worthy mixed in.
And Brett, how bad is Geno? Like, it's week 7. I don't know how we're going to get much better. Obviously, no Brock Bowers. You know, Trey Tucker looks like his number 1 receiver, by the way. I don't think we'll get Bowers this week, but I say sell Genty. Nice little 3-game run. The schedule doesn't look great going forward. I say sell Genty, but, you know, where are you with the Raiders? Is there any hope?
No hope. Geno's playing the worst football of his career by far. I mean, this is really, really bad, guys. Like,
it's brutal.
Graham talked about Dylan Gabriel playing the worst game ever. I don't know. He's got to compete with Geno for that one. This is bad, but Chiefs on paper aren't awesome against the run. You just have to worry about game script, obviously, because the Chiefs could make this a complete blowout. So,
and Graham, real quick, I mean, Jacoby Myers, more trade rumor. Like, they might as well trade him because clearly he's not happening right now. Like, he's devolving. So probably something going on there.
Yeah, there was some buzz about him asking for a trade preseason, and it would make a lot of sense to move him now, especially since their season's over.
Giants.
Yeah, Giants could use him.
That's a good one.
That would make the most sense. Honestly, Patriots could want him back too. They've been struggling for slot production this year. So
Michael Mayer, not bad. If you need a fill-in
good
guy.
streamer this week. Yeah.
Looked pretty solid last week. Yeah, that's the thing. Like he'd be on the tight end one radar if Brock Bowers didn't exist. Eagles, Vikings. Oh man. Now we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. I don't know. That might come down to a freaking last minute decision. I have no idea. I also don't know. Do we know about Quinyon Mitchell yet? Because that's kind of like, Brett, like how important is that Quinyon Mitchell injury in this matchup? Like they're kind of just average without Quinyon Mitchell. Is that too strong?
Yeah. No, that's fair. You saw Cooper DeJean have to kick outside a couple times last week, and that didn't go too well for him. So, I mean that's a huge blow to them if he can't go. I do think this might be a get right spot for the Eagles run game. I'm not super confident in it, but the Vikings haven't been great against the run. Obviously, I think they're bottom 6 in pretty much every efficiency.
Terrible.
So yeah, that's kind of really my only note on this game. Honestly, is the Vikings run D bad. So.
Yeah, that's true, and that could suppress the damn attempts here for Jalen Hurts. You know, Graham, last week I said trade for Barkley. I thought he would run on the Giants, which, hey, 31 yards on first 2 carries. But then I guess they ran out of scripted plays or something. I don't know, but I do think he'll do well here. But what do you do with A.J. Brown and Skinny Batman? The Vikings have always, except this year, with one exception in this year, with DK going off in their last game, but normally the Vikings can't stop number 1 receivers, but they have been stopping them this year. A lot of that is Isaiah Rodgers. So, I mean, what do you do with these Eagle receivers this week?
Yeah, the corners for the Vikings are playing a lot better this year. They've just got better talent there. And it's the same thing. I mean, Brian Flores is just awesome. I love watching Vikings defense every week. I just think that they do a lot of things right in terms of just maximizing their pressure looks. And I think this is going to be a kind of a trouble spot for Jalen Hurts. So I'm with Brett. I think this is a Saquon Barkley bounce back spot very, very clearly. Jalen Hurts has struggled against the blitz this season a little bit. When he's been blitzed, he's not been as efficient. So,
look bad.
Vikings are 44%, blitz rate, leading the league. Only the Falcons are, behind them at 41%. They're the only 2 teams above 40% in terms of their blitz rate. So yeah, you still got to play Brown and Smith as flex options, John, but I am a little concerned about this matchup. Just, Vikings have been so good at generating pressure, and this Eagles offensive line, as we've seen, has just not been as dominant this year.
I may lean to Devontae in this one a little bit more. He'll see Metellus, whereas Rodgers will be on Brown a good amount. And then are we going to really have downfield developing plays against, that blitz? Then again, we don't know, like, is Van Ginkel returning this week? So, a lot to get to with the injury report. I will say I like Jordan Addison, Brett.
Yeah.
Based on the alignment, he could see a Dory Jackson. I don't think if they don't have Quinyon Mitchell, they're probably not traveling these corners, right? It'll be a great spot for either Jefferson or Addison.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to and by the way, real quick, Eagle run defense. What's up with Carter? Like, I guess that's the other one, right?
He's not playing very well.
Yeah, he was hurt last week too, and he's also, like you said, he's not had the same year as last year.
Yeah, this Eagle D. Everything I sense is happening to
this
him.
Eagle team is in trouble.
Yeah.
They're 2 plays away from being 2-4 right now. Jalen Hurts is back to looking completely broken.
They're terrible.
This new play caller they have, like, remember when Brian Johnson was calling plays and they had like no answers for hot at all? It was like Jalen Hurts run around and do stuff.
Yep.
They're back to doing that. No checkdowns, no short routes. It is so weird to me.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are going to push that to the limit this week. So
I think the Vikings are going to win the game.
Oh yeah, home team coming off a bye against a team that's faltering. Heck yeah, they're gonna win.
Yeah, that's just what I've been saying for years. What does Sirianni do? And it is a little annoying. Granted, I'm a little jealous because, like, these guys kind of stink and they're the Super Bowl champions. It's like, really? I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is incredible. Like,
He'll come out of it at some point, right? It was just not going to be this week, I don't think.
yeah, but here's the problem, Brett, because the last time we were in this situation, the only thing that ended their futility was the end of the season. They died. They died.
They got,
and then they got
playoffs,
Kellen Moore.
Right? Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
And then, So I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't know, man. Let's move on. Carolina at the Jets. Oh, geez, this is. I mean, I will say our guy Mason Taylor.
Yep.
Learned a good lesson last week. Didn't take the under. I wish I did. But I did take the Ingram in that same. I actually took, believe it or not, a Josh Reynolds prop because I'm like, Garrett Wilson's not doing anything, and neither is Mason Taylor. And Josh Reynolds was a leading receiver. Different story this week, though, against Carolina. Graham, right? It's you're back. You got to be back on Mason Taylor because they have no one else. Mason Taylor should catch 6 balls. He might average 6 yards a catch, but he should catch 6 or 7 balls in this one.
Yeah, he's going to have to if they're going to move the ball. Garrett Wilson is dealing with this knee injury, and it doesn't sound good. He hyperextended it. Schefter was saying he might miss a couple weeks. And I was talking to Theo on the Fantasy Points Daily podcast and Fantasy Football Daily podcast just a few minutes ago. And he made a good point. He's like, man, what if they just shut him down? Like, what if they're like 0-9 in a couple weeks and he's like still dragging this knee injury? Yeah. For this spot specifically, though, John, like we were just all over it last week that the Broncos were going to just house the Jets' offensive line. You know, it's not just like they had a huge advantage in the trenches. Obviously, Fields is holding the ball too long. Well, guess what? This is like the polar opposite spot. Panthers are dead last in pressure rate. They really, really struggle getting after the passer. So Fields can hold the ball and just kind of do the Justin Fields thing where he's, trying to get the ball downfield. And it'll be all to Mason Taylor because Carolina is terrible against tight ends, giving up the second most schedule-adjusted fantasy points to the position. So, yeah, we're back in on Taylor. And honestly, I know this. I know we were kind of groaning about Fields, groaning about Bryce Young. And, like, yeah, they're not the best. But this game has some, like, sneaky shootout upside just because, the Jets played a pretty good defensive game last week, but I'm still not convinced that they're very good. And then, obviously, Carolina is gettable. They've not been good for 2 years. So this game definitely has some like gross fantasy upside, I think.
Could be it is a good schematic, Brett, for Bryce Young because they play a good amount of man. We'll get a shadow situation with Sauce on Tet, which will probably result in him not going off, but maybe he scores. We do have other guys here. God knows who. Tommy Tremble. I can't use him with any confidence. But, yeah, Bryce Young, when you don't have a good pass rush and you're playing man coverage, things are defined at the very least, right? And he's not that bad.
Yeah, he's a roller coaster, but he's looked good the last 3-4 weeks. So
okay,
that's what it is. Yeah. I think the one mistake in the logic here, especially with the Mason Taylor thing, is you're assuming Aaron Glenn wants to get yards.
Oh, my bad, dog. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I mean, I guess he doesn't. He'll take no yards over a Fields interception.
They are so poorly coached, man. That Fields is clearly a limited quarterback. Their offensive line is not good, but they are just so poor. They have so many just like lining up problems, little.
Yeah, nightmare.
Yeah, just little.
Brees Hall's sick of it. By the way, he's sick of it, and also, by the way, no targets. Granted, I guess. They only threw it like 14 times, but Graham, would you? Yeah. But that's a problem if Isaiah Davis is going to run more routes than Brees.
Yeah, that was my concern. Is like they still want to compartmentalize this backfield, but like we've been saying, I mean that game plan last week was a joke. Like they just kind of conceded the game. Honestly, they had no faith in their drop back game.
Well, I'm going to compartmentalize the fact that Justin Fields and the Jets do exist and move forward with some hopefully non-sucky teams next up. And, well, we got one non-sucky team as the New England Patriots go to Tennessee to take on the Titans with Mikey McCoy. Oh, yeah.
He's back.
We're back, baby. The old interim bump, though, you always get like 4 good quarters, maybe 3 when there's a change like this. But yeah, I mean, Brett, like what can change here? Like first of all, Ridley's hurt, so we don't know about that. I guess the O-line, I mean, it's got to start with the O-line in the running game. Thought we had some signs of progress leading up to last week, but then not much last week. But what else can change here? Like, this is who they are. They don't have much to work with.
Yeah, and it's not a great matchup because New England's run defense is pretty nasty. Probably top 3 in the league. So establishing the run, getting that going is going to be tough. And Ward has just been kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And then like, I get you firing the coach. I understand it, but he's the one who did design the system and bring the system here. So now it's like, okay, well, that was already our biggest problem. And so what do we do? What are we running? What play? You know what I mean? It's just
right.
It's a big mess here.
They're like the Panthers, like just dysfunctional here. Yeah, exactly. And did his father Bill leave? Oh, great. Now he lost, one of the greatest offensive line coaches.
No, he's staying on, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's staying on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Awkward at Thanksgiving dinner, sure. But
that's tough love to the son, though. Tough love. Right there. Oh, really, really sorry for you losing your job, but I got to go to work to the facility, son. Wow. Okay. Well, Graham, we're never using Ridley ever again. Will the backfield in New England ever shake out? I mean, I keep waiting for, I keep saying one more Ramondre fumble.
Yeah. No, at this point, they just don't trust Travion Henderson, to play a ton of snaps, and they're also using him really weirdly. Get this guy off tackle, running some outside zone. Like, let's give him some defined running lanes and a couple pullers, to the outside,
delays, things like that.
And it's a lot of just up the middle, just kind of churning yard stuff. It's bizarre. At the end of the day, the Patriots are, kind of going as Drake May goes. Josh McDaniels is calling an awesome offense, but their run game is left a lot to be desired. But yeah, last week, I mean, Stevenson played 71% of the snaps. Henderson was down at 29%. It's brutal. I'm with you. I kind of have given up here. I maybe we'll see a mid-season rookie bump with Henderson, but at this point, I mean, they just trust Ramondre a little more, and they trust Ramondre in passing down situations, which is weird. I think the Henderson blew a couple really bad pass protection snaps earlier this season.
Week 3.
Yeah, and they haven't gone back to it. They've just they're like, all right, we've seen what we needed to see, and we're not going to even give you a chance to play in the passing game. It's all bizarre. The usage in the run game is bizarre, and the passing down usage is it's equally bizarre with Henderson. But yeah, at this point, man, this offense is just Drake May and Stephon Diggs and Hunter Henry. Kayshon Boutte, popped last week, but he's been super up and down. And then Brett, you were saying, I mean, they could certainly trade for a receiver. They have got to be the number one trade target team. It's either them or the Giants or the Steelers.
You know who I want them to go get?
Is that
Chris Olave?
That would be awesome.
Just go do it.
Yeah, and he's not been used as much downfield this year as he can be. He's kind of been using a lot more intermediate. So
Olave makes Diggs better, who makes Boutte better / Douglas. Yeah, it'd just be sweet. It'd be exactly what Drake May needs.
Yep.
Brett, can I play devil's advocate on Drake May at all? They can't run the ball. Granted, it looks great. They're picking their spots. Mm-hmm. Ball location's been great. It looks like almost unstoppable, but it does. I don't know. Is that sustainable all year without a running game?
Their schedule is so easy. If they had a harder schedule, then maybe not. I'm with you, John. But you look at that. I mean, their schedule already has been easy, and then the rest of season is not hard. They have got such an easy schedule this year.
Yeah,
I had a great nugget on May I was looking for, and I can't find it for whatever reason. But
Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Bengals, Giants, bye, Bills, Ravens, Jets.
It's just those Bills Ravens games 15 and 16, and then I mean it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, no doubt it's going exceptionally well, but I do question whether we're living off some big plays and all that. But I guess you guys would agree though that if there's one guy to hang your hat on, it's in the passing game. It's got to be Diggs. Because I don't know if it's Hunter Henry, because Hunter Henry is literally driving me nuts. But it's got to be
driving me nuts too, man. Diggs had a really big play, wiped off the board off a BS OPI call last week too. He barely touched the Saints defender, and they called OPI on it.
You talking Diggs?
Dude.
Yeah. It was like a 55.
Oh, the 52-yard. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But he did have his hand like on him, like a
Yeah, I've seen way worse though.
Yeah,
That's not been called.
And it was called down too. That like the NFL is overstepping here. If you watch the all 22, the referee doesn't even throw a flag.
Oh.
The flag literally never comes out. Like you can see the referee jogging with the play, just completely leaves it behind, and then they convene, and then somebody called down, and then they threw the flag and turned. And the NFL is not supposed to do that. It's a violation of their rules. They did it in the Lions game too. This is a problem. So,
but you know what's lost in that is that was another dime dropped by Drake May.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a perfect throw on the run too.
It absolutely was. And if he does continue this, hey, I mean, it'll be a dream breakout second year, basically. Like Patriot fans are absolutely giddy. They should be. Moving on, let's go to the Giants at the Broncos. And Brad, I'll go to you. I was worried about your guy, Dart, last week. Didn't have to be. The Eagles did drop 2 interceptions, which pissed me off because I thought he would throw an interception. I think it was the second play of the damn game he threw right to an Eagle. But this one's got to be the most challenging matchup on the board for a guy like Jackson Dart right now.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup at all for him. He looked great against the Eagles Thursday night last week, but I'm punting here. I definitely don't want Jackson seeing this pressure unit, man. This is going to be tough. So, and then Surtain and the corners Denver has, it's just not a good situation. Cam Scatabo needs to be the focal point of their game plan to kind of shorten the game. And then also Denver, you can run on them. No one's really tested them that way yet just because of, game script, game flow, whatever. But they don't. I mean, you look at their interior defensive linemen, they're not good against the run. So Zach Allen, traditionally really bad against the run. They have linebacker injuries. I think running the ball is their path to success here, but even still, I don't know that this will be much of a game.
What is up with this offense and Bo Nix against the Jets? Like, remember last year they played that? He threw for 60 yards, did Bo Nix, I believe, in a whole game. So are we still kind of not sure of what we have every week with Bo Nix?
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
Accuracy downfield has been really bad this year. Intermediate level been really bad. He's pretty much anything that's not a scheme throw for him right now is it looks labored almost, just processing slow, inviting chaos into his life. It's like stinks because he was building on 3 good games and then he had that one. So to
me, it's like the tape is on. There's tape on Bo Nix, and teams have made their adjustments, and it just feels like Sean Payton is doing everything he can to keep things afloat. But I don't know. I mean, it probably doesn't bode extremely well for Bo Nix. I'm trying not to overreact here, but like, how do you interpret his long-term outlook based on what we're seeing here?
He's still young and relatively young, I should say. And what we're seeing across the league is it takes time. I mean, we just talked about it last week. Look at Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, even Geno Smith. Took him like 8 years before he got a start.
Half a decade or more. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time. The college game is so different than the pro game. These guys are not ready when they come to the league. So it just takes time. I'd be patient with them.
But you are really pressing on an issue that I started complaining about like 20 years ago. Like these guys, the NFL has to change for them, which is, I don't know, it's a little annoying to me.
Yeah. It's also like to be honest, it's also why like CJ Stroud stinks. Like he was awesome as a rookie. We thought he arrived. He was bad. Jaden Daniels was great last year. He's been bad this year. Jaden Daniels is dead last in the NFL in EPA on third downs.
Oh,
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, so even the ones that we think are really good, they end up progressing, right? It takes time.
Yeah. Wow. That's I see. I did not realize. I mean, I'm kind of grading them on a curve too because they've been without guys. But if you're bad, you're bad, and you're not as sharp, no doubt. Real quick, RJ Harvey. I mean, I guess this is gonna be an L.
Yeah,
Graham.
Yeah, I'm taking the L on Harvey for sure. I mean, it's he's a rookie, 24-year-old rookie who's not really fully gotten it yet. He's made some mistakes this year, no doubt about it, just missing holes and playing a little slow in my opinion. And then J.K. Dobbins is just the man. I mean, Dobbins is playing, like I said a couple weeks ago, he's playing at a top 10 running back level. He's the Dobbins that we loved coming out of Ohio State. Loved him before he tore up his knee. The one thing I want to add to the Bo Nix discussion, just real quick, is like Brett was saying, he's just not the same guy downfield, and he's just accuracy to all levels of the field is not the same. His catchable throw rate is 72%, tied with Bryce Young. Last year, you look at their last 13 games, he was up at like the 75-80% mark in terms of his catchable throw rate. So I really think it's kind of that simple. Like, his accuracy is on a play-to-play basis is very, very up and down.
I think Evan Ingram's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, just as the underneath guy, kind of scheme up some, horizontally breaking routes. Great bounce back spot for Sutton, though. I mean, these Giants corners, if Nix can hit them, if that's the big caveat, but Giants corners are very, very burnable.
For sure.
I like Franklin too. Giants giving up 96.8 yards a game to the slot, which is a league number. That's a lot. It's a lot. Game.
He does pretty well against man coverage too, Franklin.
Yeah.
But I think Evan Ingram's safety valve guy. I think he's probably good for like 4 grabs for 35 every week for what it's worth. Indianapolis Colts at the LA Chargers. Both teams have plenty of firepower. Brett, are you talking about the Colts defense yet in terms of like them being better than we thought?
Yeah, they're about where I thought they would be, to be honest. I picked them to be a breakout defense. Their defensive line's loaded. What is going to get them in trouble potentially this week is they have no corners left.
Yep.
Tarvarius Ward's probably going to miss. Mekhi Blackman might miss. Kenny Moore is going to miss.
Ward didn't get a concussion last week.
Yeah, right. Yep. So they that's a bad situation for a team that has insane depth at wide receiver.
Right. So. Yeah. All right. Well, but here's the other thing. Justin Herbert and the O-line, I guess they figured it out a little bit last week, but I mean, it's a struggle bus against Miami.
Yeah, what you're seeing is they're going through a metamorphosis right now. So the first 3 weeks of the season, they were like heavy 11 personnel team, and they still favor 11 personnel, but they almost never used heavy packages like 12, 21, and 13. Last 3 weeks, they're up over 30% in 12, 21, and 13. Aronde Gadsden, they've kind of figured out as their mismatch weapon, their cheat code.
Yeah.
They call it 11.5 personnel with him, where he's like a big slot, and then they have an inline tight end there. So you're seeing his usage go way up, and I think he's probably here to stay. I think whether he's fantasy viable or not will be week to week, but ultimately I do think that throws a wrench in predicting the wide receiver outputs a little bit. So
and maybe they're doing that too for more protection, obviously. Yes. And then Tucker Fisk is the inline guy, isn't he? It's not necessarily Will Dissly.
Well, Dissly and Conklin have both battled injuries, so Fisk was working in the rotation. They played all 3 of them this past week, I think. So.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then we'll say about Alt and Trey Pipkins again, Graham. I will admit fully, I apologize for saying anything positive about Hassan Haskins last week. I think I got in my damn head because I had props on the mind. It was like, 33. Oh, he'll get that. I mean, both guys will get that. But do you think Kamani Vidal can stick it? Did look pretty good. He looked a lot better than Haskins, he looks like he's a completely limited player, quite frankly, who, if you're going to give him 25 carries downhill, fine, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah, if that game where Hampton got hurt back in week 5, Vidal did have more expected points than Haskins. So I kind of gave the slight lean to Vidal. And then you watch the game, they gave Haskins a drive, and I think they wanted just to see who's going to get the hot hand here against Miami. And it was Vidal. That being said, though, he's got this pathway on passing downs. Even if Haskins plays a little more on early downs and in the run game, I still think Kamani Vidal is the guy to have here. I saw a report, and I apologize for not remembering the person's name, but the Chargers are probably going to go after a running back, some low end running back, just to give them some depth. This Martin Hampton injury sounds really serious. He might miss way more than just the 4 games on IR. So if you picked up Kamani Vidal, pat yourself on the back for sure. It looks like you're going to pretty decent RB2 for the next couple of weeks, but we'll see if the Chargers try to make a move here. Obviously, they're right in the thick of the playoff hunt.
Did I hear Chuba? Did I hear somebody say Chuba?
Threw Chuba out. They need to go after Chuba.
Could be. I mean, it could also just be somebody like Jerome Ford, you know?
Yeah.
They need somebody, I think. It's very clear, like you were saying, John. Haskins is very limited.
Yeah, no doubt. I that was dumb. I didn't think that one totally with good clarity.
There's bad reporting, though. It's not all your fault. There were multiple Chargers beats who said Haskins was going to be the starter.
Yeah, well, I was also going off. Actually, what I was going off of was Jim Harbaugh thought would stick to the book, and he did have Haskins over Vidal in the depth chart, but it was a hot hand thing too.
Yeah, exactly. It was totally hot. Like Vidal had ripped off like a couple of nice explosives, and they didn't go away from it.
38-yard run, the first play of the third drive. Up until that point, Haskins actually had more snaps and touches.
Yep.
And then the 38-yard run, that was basically it. It was Vidal the rest of the way.
I think Vidal did get the first carry. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then I think Haskins got one right after that. But Colts and Danny Dimes, they do have a little bit of a run here where I actually wrote, like, you know, if you don't necessarily need Danny Dimes, maybe trade him, flip him, because they've got this matchup. Doesn't look great. Chargers, Titans, Steelers, Falcons, bye, KC, Houston. It's not a great run there, but, Daniel Jones sure is continuing to play well, right, Brett? I mean, looks like Josh Downs is coming on. The O-line, though, blocking it up for the run is starting to look pretty incredible out there.
Yeah. Yep. Dimes looks great. The run offense, though, is really, really good. So, and the Chargers actually are very gettable on the ground. They're allowing over 5 yards a carry, explosive runs. I think 45% success rate allowed to, which is way up there. So, this is definitely a John Taylor smash spot. Which there's not a week where that isn't true, but extra so this week.
Yeah. And Graham, I mean, do you have any thoughts? I mean, Pittman's kind of driving me a little crazy this year, but I think I've settled in, and I probably switch it up in 6 weeks. Josh Downs, third receiver, no worse. In a deeper league, just start him. Just start him every week. He'll average like 9.9 points for you most likely, but he also does have a pretty good ceiling. He is coming on.
Yeah, I love Josh Downs, man. I've always been a Downs believer in the talent. It's just the Colts don't play him. Like they play Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman in their 12 personnel stuff. Downs really only sees the field when they're in 11, so he's only playing in the slot. And last week he had a good game, but he only ran a route on 58% of the dropbacks.
Right.
That's like right in line with the season. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
I said he's their Jaden Reed.
Yeah, and it's like a worse role because he doesn't get, the design carries in the run game. So it's an annoying thing.
At least he's targeted when he's out there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in PPR, Downs will be fine as like a wide receiver 3 or 4 this season. But man, I mean, it's you want him playing a whole lot more. But yeah, 7-8 targets last 2 games. Certainly good to see him trending up. I love
Tyler Warren, man.
He's incredible.
I wrote this past year. I'm like, hey, I learned my lesson with Brock Bowers because I freaking love Brock Bowers and I didn't give him enough love. So I'm going to give this Tyler Warren love. I wish I gave him more. It's incredible. Like how open he gets too, like that. We all knew it was a great schematic matchup last week, but he's wide open. Like so great. Of course, Graham, I have him in our Fantasy Points Dynasty League. Like don't ever give up in Dynasty because my team was dead 2 years ago. Dead last. Right now I'm 6-0. And I'm just killing everybody with like Mahomes and Warren and let me roster bait a little bit. Jonathan Taylor, Javonte. I got Jahmyr Gibbs, little lad McConkey.
Yeah, you stashing Javonte for that long. That's what's gotten you here at this point.
Yeah, well, I took him when he was supposed to be great, and I've been dying. But hey, it's happening. Better late than never. I'd probably just curse myself. I'll lose in the ship now. I'll go on. One year I went undefeated in a staff league, talked a lot of shit, and then I got my ass kicked in the finals. 14-0, and I lost by like 70. Real quick, Charger passing game. We didn't really hit that. Any thoughts, Graham? Like we were just talking about, the tight end situation might be confusing a little bit. Where are you with Ladd McConkey? I mean, are we back?
Yeah, you look at the like routes he's run all year. I think he's looked like the same exact guy. He's looked very, very sudden. The production just wasn't there, and then you've seen, it's turned around the last 2 weeks. We'll see on Quentin Johnston. He pulled his hamstring last week. He seemed legitimately close to playing. But yeah, I mean, we're going to get Ladd against this, Colts secondary that's just like bleeding yards against slot receivers. So love the spot for him. And I think Brett noted when we first started talking this game, I mean, they're very beat up in the secondary. So yeah, great spot. The one note I had here, and this was a miss by me last week, Keenan Allen, was the result of, Rondé Gadsden playing more and then playing more two tight end sets. Keenan only played like 56% of the snaps last week, and that was without Quentin Johnston. So he really is kind of like their, third receiver in this offense. They played a lot more Trey Harris last week. So that was a miss by me last week. I loved Keenan last week.
I mean, he did get 7 targets. So, I mean,
yeah.
He is getting looks every single week. Green Bay at Arizona, like, it's just hysterical that you look at the box score. Oh, wow. Like you're in a coma. You just wake up from week 4. You look in the box score like, oh, there he is. Kyler's back, 300 plus yards. And you're like, oh, wait, never mind. It wasn't Kyler. I mean, it's truly incredible.
Without Marvin Harrison for most of the game, John.
I mean, all of a sudden, like Michael Wilson's balling out there. He made a couple of nice plays, but I haven't even checked on Kyler yet. It's still a little early. We're recording this on Wednesday, but what is up with Marvin Harrison too? I haven't checked on that either. So it's a little early to do this preview because I don't have any thoughts in the damn backfield.
Yeah, they played a lot more Bam Knight. That was a report I think we got from one of the Cardinals beat writers, or maybe Schefter. Knight played not significantly more, but it was like a compartmentalized split with Carter. Carter played more in passing downs. He had 19 routes, 4 targets. But Knight had more carries, 11-9 over Carter. I don't know what to do with this backfield either. Packers are a very good run defense. They're stuffing the run pretty well right now. Marv Harrison's in concussion protocol. He slammed his head pretty hard. And what we've seen with concussion guys, it's usually like at this point of the year, maybe late in the year, it'll be different around the playoffs. But right now, everybody misses a game if you're in concussion protocol. So, it'll be all Trey McBride and Michael Wilson in this spot for the Cardinals. And then, with Kyler, I wanted to kick it to Brett. Like, do you think there's a chance they just say screw it? And like this coaching staff is in the 3rd year. They probably know they're on the way out. Like, let's see if we can salvage our jobs and like prove that this offense can work without Kyler, because like Jacoby Brissett did just offer them the best drop back passing they've had all season by far.
Yeah. I mean, what he did speaks volumes to how just broken Murray is. And you could tell, like, Gannon was asked about it. Like, when Murray's healthy, are you going to go back to or are you going to stick with Brissett or go back? And he got super pissed, which is a sign that you're probably in some type of internal torment, right? Like, you're thinking this over. I do think they just get the house cleaned on him, though. I think coaching staff.
It's deserved.
Tyler's gone. I would imagine they're all just gone. But
it's deserved.
Yeah. Nothing else going on here. We're not backing Zay Jones. We can't do that. But for Green Bay, it feels like Josh Jacobs kind of getting his bearings about him a little bit in the running game, and a little bit of a slow start, but that looked like a Josh Jacobs down the stretch. And we could get Watson back. I mean, Jordan Love's playing well. I mean, almost impossible to predict the attempts. LaFleur would probably love them to be at like 24 a game, which is annoying, but they are pretty loaded, and I think they're looking pretty good here. Well-balanced offense.
Yeah, they're basically running a lot of their pass concepts and run designs are like the 2021 Rams. Like, they've gone back to it. So much end around stuff, even with the running backs. They'll put the running backs in the slot and end around carry them. It's just very, very unique. It reminds me of what McVay was doing back in like 2021. Was LaFleur there, maybe? Or maybe that's 2020. I don't know.
LaFleur was
probably in Tennessee then.
Okay. Yeah. But anyways, it's a balanced offense. It's just really hard to predict, especially the receiver room's just I don't know.
Joke.
Pick
Freaking Tucker Kraft. I played that prop last week, and he made a play. Oh, sure he did. Touchdown, but 2 damn targets or catches. Yeah, it's very frustrating. But hey, great news for Jordan Love, Graham. I mean, if down the stretch, by the way, if we're rolling with Golden, who's coming on, Watson, and then we get Jaden Reed back, like, good luck. I mean, that's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, their playoff schedule looks really good too. Like, they get Detroit in a Thanksgiving game, but then they get the Bears twice, week 14 and 16. They do play the Broncos, but then they get the Ravens week 17. That game is going to be awesome, especially if Lamar plays. Yeah, and I'm with you. I think Matthew Golden, like, he's still kind of not a real wide receiver and like the way he's used, but like the way they use him does work. And in this matchup specifically, Cardinals play a ton of 2 high coverages, nearly 60%. It's the 5th highest rate, and Golden is just crushing 2 high. He's averaging 3.3 yards per route run, leads the team in targets per route run against 2 high by a significant margin over Dobbs and Kraft too. So yeah, I'm big on Golden this week. I think he has a chance to crack a few big plays. Brett, I wanted to ask you what you thought of Golden, because he's kind of like, he's one of the trickier players in fantasy to figure out, because you can see the upside because Love is playing so well. But I'm curious for what you think, like what you've seen with his route running and his development so far.
Yeah, the route running, like if you were a novice watching his route running, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's amazing, right? He gets separation. Yeah. I think his attention to detail is just a little off still. The route depths aren't quite there. You can see, I watch body language too with Jordan Love. You can see them kind of talking after every play, like, no, you're supposed to be, 2 yards the other direction. And but I mean, ultimately, like, he has the talent to be an elite route runner, not just a good one, an elite route runner. So I definitely think as the season goes on, he's just going to get better and better.
I love the body language reference. I used to get made fun of for that like 10 years ago by someone. And then it became evident, like, oh, NFL teams have people and they're studying that in interviews and things like that. Yeah. You can absolutely get a lot out of that. Here's one worst I said preseason of his rookie year. I'm like, worst body language of all time. Maybe Josh Rosen, Justin Fields. How's that worked out? I mean, it's a little bit of a cheat code, quite frankly. Anywho, moving on to the Commanders and the Cowboys. I'm a little rattled by your Jaden Daniels discussion here, but certainly this is a good matchup, and we might get McLaurin back. I have to like Daniels here, Brad.
McLaurin did practice today. That came through while we were recording this. I just got the text. He practiced today, so that's good news. Yeah, great matchup.
It's like now they can run an offense, right? Because it seems like there's just been barren without him. Like, where's your deep threat? Where's your vertical guy?
Yeah, they have nothing at the intermediate and deep part of the field. Yeah. McCaffrey's looked pretty good, actually. He's come along a little bit, but they just need more.
You know who he looks like, by the way?
He
looks just like Eddie.
Does he?
I mean, I don't know if you noticed. He looks just like Ed. I mean, not for nothing, obviously, it's his father, but he looks more like Ed than Christian does.
Yeah, that's fair. Love the matchup though, so should be good. Daniels just hasn't played well yet. He could get, he could easily snap it back together, but for me, this is a Ja'Cory Krosky merit spot, and I know we're tired of trying to predict this, but Dallas is they're 28th in rush EPA allowed, 31st in success rate allowed. Their defense is bad all the way around, so that's not for naught. But they just gave up 200 plus rushing yards to the Carolina Panthers, who are down 3 starters on the offensive line, and Rico Dowdle is their running back. I mean, yeah,
and they knew Rico was coming.
They
didn't buckle up.
Nope.
They didn't buckle up.
They did not. Yeah. My man I watched Rico walking off the field. He was pissed in that game. I don't know if you saw that. I was like, damn. I mean,
he probably feels like he should be doing what Javante's doing. They should have. I mean, Javante's had a great year, but they should have re-signed Rico for one.
Rico had a good year last year for them too. He had
I know.
Oh, he closed out the year as the guy, and he
I know.
Ass.
I was saying Rico is the 0 RB guy last year, and he was, and it just didn't matter because so many running backs crushed. But yeah, at the end of the day, like this is the game of the season so far. 54.5 total. Cowboys games have averaged to score 60.3 points per game.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dallas has like the best offense in the league in terms of scoring. Their defense is the worst in terms of, scoring allowed. And, I'm reserving judgment on Jaden Daniels' second season until we get McLaurin back.
Right.
It's totally fair. Totally
I mean, McLaurin is like the guy in this offense. Also, Debo is clearly not 100%. This heel injury is legit. Like, he played pretty well 2 weeks ago, and he was struggling out there this last game against the Bears. I was rewatching him just to see kind of what happened. He only had 5 catches for 15 yards or something like that. He looked like he was laboring. So we'll see on Debo. Hopefully he gets this injury right. But yeah, McLaurin is like the linchpin to this offense because they can't be running Chris Moore vertical routes. Like, come on. Like, it's bad. It's brutal. So yeah, getting McLaurin back in this matchup against the Cowboys corners who can't cover this game is just going to go ham for fantasy.
That'll open things up for Zach Ertz too, by the way. I actually, Monday night, I double dipped on the VSiN show on his props and hit them both. But my special was 50 or more yards for like plus 280, and he just missed it. I mean, he almost should have got it. Like, he came 7 yards shy. So like complete offense when you get your vertical threat, Ertz. Maybe McCaffrey can chip in here and there, make a play. Of course, don't forget about Noah Brown. So, yeah, a little early to judge. But I'm with you on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, too. Like, underwhelmed a little bit last week. And for Dallas, I mean, start him if you got him, right? I mean, it's pretty concentrated. Looks like Lamb's back. Pickens, Lamb. George, Brett, the last few weeks, you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of, like, Rico Dowdle. It's like all of a sudden you're giving Rico Dowdle 28 carries. Just like, look how good he is. George has kind of been like that. Like, he could be a 1 here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously you want CeeDee Lamb, but I don't know if George is going to be that great. But they're looking good here. I mean, what do you see with George? Do you see him like expanding out the route tree still?
He looks awesome. He was good enough to be a 1 in Pittsburgh. They just don't throw the ball enough for that to manifest.
For sure. For sure.
Dallas has to. They throw the ball like 50 times a game. So.
Yeah. I'm viewing this as like the Puka Devontae thing. Like CeeDee Lamb's Puka, George Pickens is Devontae. Both these guys are top 12 receivers for fantasy rest of season.
Love it.
Of course, you're not trading away Ferguson on that.
No.
Right,
it's just they throw so much because their defense is so ass.
Yeah, no doubt. And Javonte, we'll see. Like, that was a little bit of a worrisome game there, I guess, last week, but nobody else is playing. They're not playing the rookie at all, so we're still good with the roll. Next up, Falcons, Niners. I will say this, Brett. I feel a little bit better about our guy McCarthy watching Josh Allen struggle against this Atlanta defense. Like, Raheem Morris is a very emotional guy. Guys play hard for him, and they've invested a lot of talent. And I mean, we're not trending to them being in an avoid matchup, though, are we?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe,
they're close. I mean, they held Baker Mayfield the most in check of any team this year as well. So they've got some, they've got some scalps on the resume. So and they're figuring it out. This blitz package he's got with these, I've been making fun of them because they don't have an edge rusher over 250 pounds. Well, Raheem Morris figured out how to use them, and he's putting 3 of them on the field at the same time and just letting them go. So I really like their blitz packages here. But yeah, most of my notes here on the 49ers side of the ball looks like Purdy and Kittle practice today or are practicing today. So that's good news for them.
Do we go with Penix? Is it as simple as man heavy defense, beware, zone heavy not? Because it seems like him and Drake London are struggling against man heavy teams.
Yeah, I mean, Penix, if it's not a design throw, he's a see it and throw it guy. Unfortunately, he's always been that. So he's just going to get himself in some trouble, and man coverage is typically tighter. So
yeah.
I will say San Francisco though, they are giving up a ton to the slot, like a ton, and so Drake London will line up there some. They can manufacture some mismatches there with him. But
yeah, I mean, I actually put down an under too early, so that was my mistake last week on London. Didn't hit that. Graham, what are you going to do? I mean, nobody else is really stepping up without Mooney. I saw Scott Barrett's tweet. Did you see that one? Like, all the big London games have basically come without Mooney.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for 2 years now. Like, You look at their splits last year, the 15 games they played together, London just barely had more yards per game. Same's been the case this year. It's just Mooney's just been dealing with two injuries now. He had a shoulder injury that cost him a month. Now he popped a hammy. But yeah, I mean, London, great play this week. Brett, you've been saying for 3 years now that, 49ers can be burned in the secondary if they don't get a pass rush. And well, guess what? They lost Bosa and they're second and last in pressure rate. Only the Panthers have a lower pressure rate. So I'm feeling it for the Falcons in this spot. And yeah, I mean, it's a little worrisome for the, in this matchup for the 49ers. Falcons have a great pass rush. Purdy obviously had a setback with the toe injuries. He might not be, have his full mobility in terms of play extension and stuff, but this game's got some serious shootout potential. I mean, Shanahan is calling such a good offense. They're getting Kittle back. Hopefully they'll get, Juwan Jennings back playing a little more. We'll see on Ricky Pearsall too. So this could be like the healthiest the Niners have been against, with a really bad defense against a Falcons offense that is just, Michael Penix is kind of just steering the ship, and Bijan is running the show.
Transcend it, man.
He's
Bijan is one of, he's easily one of the 5 best running backs I've ever covered.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So, yeah, it should be heavy Bijan, and this game has a lot of shootout potential. That's for sure. The next primetime game though, Tampa and Detroit. This next game though, that's probably the better shootout game.
We will preview that. By the way, I referred to Bijan as gigantic Barry Sanders a couple of weeks ago. Like I think people should not be able to move like that and do the moves that he does at that size, but unbelievable player. Looking forward, Brett, think about the Niners in a month, let's say, maybe less. If all is well, like we got Purdy thrown to Kittle, Pearsall, Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne to be alive. I mean, that could be pretty potent, man. And Jennings.
Yeah. Yes, it could be super potent, no doubt. I imagine they should probably think about trading one of those guys at the deadline here. But
right. You can't trade Kendrick Bourne because come on.
No, 49ers can't trade anybody, Brett. They're the most snake bitten team.
That's true.
the moment they trade Juwan Jennings, somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah,
they need like 8 receivers on the bench to make sure they can,
2 more games to get through the Week 7 edition of Matchup Points here at fantasypoints.com. Tampa Bay at Detroit, and Brett, I'll go to you with the Lions secondary and all their injuries. Of course, Tampa, we can match your DB injuries with wide receiver injuries. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to look like a preseason game on that side of the ball. Yeah. Honestly, there will be fans on both sides Googling who the hell is that?
Yeah.
On both sides of the aisle there.
I thought you were going to say there will be fans suiting up from the stands.
I mean, there might be. I just learned who this guy named Ryan Miller is this week. Big white receiver. And then this Kalen Williams guy. Never heard of him either. I write up 300 prospects a year. I've never heard of these guys. So,
do you know Dominic Lovett, by the way?
I do. Georgia. Okay. Yeah. Well, he plays for my team. So it's
gotcha. I know that.
They actually drafted him though. Like that wasn't. These other guys are UDFAs I've never heard of. This is crazy. So,
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance Evans is back. Sounds like he might start practicing this week. I would think they still hold him out though. Like, Evans with the history in the hamstring might start practicing does not at all imply a game to me. I don't know, but either way, yeah, this is hilarious. Baker though can overcome whatever. And
I mean, that's what I wrote about Tez Johnson. I'm like, hey, I know Tez Johnson's a separatist.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, and if you're on the field with Baker Mayfield, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm with you on that.
True, and the Bucs can't stop outside receivers either. So like this could be the highest scoring game of the week, honestly. So
wow, yeah. And J-Mo, real quick. I know Graham, we'll get to you. J-Mo. I mean, one game, but it's what we've been saying. Like this guy's not going to do this all year.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the moment where they feature him, and they finally did. It unfortunately didn't manifest into a win, but he's involved. So
yeah. Graham, Rachaad White, baby.
Yep. Yeah, he's looking great. Bucky's got this shoulder injury that's going to cost him another game. I do think we get Mike Evans. They didn't put him on IR for this reason. He's missed 3 games. So if they felt like he was going to miss a month or more, they would have put him on IR. They got their bye in week 9.
True.
This is a huge game for Detroit, and I love Jared Goff in this spot. Goff is, in my opinion, playing better than he did last year. He is just the touchdown he had to Jamison Williams was the hardest I've ever seen Goff throw the ball. I mean, that was just an absolute laser.
Dude, he had one to Laporta like the play before that. That was insane.
Yeah, he is just playing at an insanely high level. And this is a great matchup for him. He is just really doing a great job at diagnosing blitzes and getting the ball out quickly. When you face Todd Bowles, you got to face the blitz. They're blitzing the 5th most often. And Goff leads all quarterbacks when blitz this year by yards per pass attempt. He hasn't taken a sack against the blitz this year.
He does every year too, by the way.
I know, man, but it's like even to the 10th degree this season, it's just he's playing an extremely high level. So if we didn't have Commanders Cowboys, this would definitely be the shootout game of the week. I want to mention your boy Kate Otten here, John, as well. Just switching back to the Tampa Bay side, if you're like you said, if you're on the field with Baker Mayfield,
that's true.
It's like he's going to play a ton. He ran around on 80% of the dropbacks last week. And he's
no Brian Branch of the Lions.
Yep, he's got that suspension. That's true. So you look at the 5 games that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have missed over the last 2 seasons. He's been tight end 4 by production. Just like so random. K. Dotton's a top 5 tight end when these 2 guys are out. So yeah, I'm playing. You're playing everybody here in this game. This is pretty much smoke them if you got them. Like there's nobody you should have on your team that should be on your bench this week.
Montgomery's going to get a big load this week.
What's that?
David Montgomery's going to get a bigger load.
Oh yeah, I saw that quote from Campbell. You think there's some signal to that?
Yeah, they really like keeping their workloads balanced. The game script got away from them the last week, and typically when that happens, they come hard back the other way with Monty the next week. And actually, didn't it just happen against Chicago? Didn't Monty go nuts against Chicago this year after barely touching the ball against Green Bay? I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
That sounds right.
I think he had like 150 yards, didn't he?
And this is their running game is the type of running game like if they go into it and fully committed to volume and they get the volume, like they'll run on anyone because this is a tough run deep, but they'll run on them. Anything else here in this one? Nah, I mean, a little Sterling Shepard, right? I mean, I could see Sterling Shepard if Branch is out, Brett.
Yes, for sure. Sterling Shepard. He's probably their most qualified receiver healthy. If Evans doesn't play, that is. So like
a 5 catches for 48 game. And
why not?
If he scores, then we're in business. And we're in business. Well, I don't know if the Seattle Seahawks are in business, but they will be at home taking on the Texans. Big test, I would think, Brett. I'll go to you for Darnold. But look, it's looked unbelievable. The JSN play last week was unbelievable. Like I added the prop on Saturday. I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. Like he's crushing, and he did. The backfield is a nightmare, but the Darnold and even Cooper Kupp. I like the tight ends too. I mean, it's good. It's kind of a lot like Minnesota last year, a little bit.
Yeah, if I were to submit an MVP ballot today, Sam Darnold would be on it. Just so everyone knows. I mean, he's playing awesome. Darnold right now he has more yards throwing to tight ends than any quarterback in the league.
I think those 2 tight ends are it's like the most under the radar thing. I know Elijah Arroyo's not doing all that much and Barner's doing it, but like I feel like that duo is going to be a thing.
Yeah, they hit these shots to Arroyo. I mean, he only catches a ball a game, but it's like 18 yards, 25 yards, 35 yards. It's like off the play action. Yeah, Darnold looks great. JSN can beat anyone. Texas defense obviously tough though, so we'll see.
This is a big test.
Yeah. Yep,
big test
this season probably.
And Graham, it's not like we can say, oh, we'll just lean on the running game. Like their running game has been a buzzkill in Seattle. I thought their O-line looked, granted preseason, but I thought they looked like they were on the precipice of like kicking ass this year, but they're not.
Yeah, they're not. And I don't know. I'd love to get into like the running back psychology of it, but like I don't know. Some running backs genuinely do get better with more
Yeah.
volume and get into kind of the rhythm of the game. And it
Totally.
really kind of seems like, yeah, they've got Charbonnet in this kind of like, short yardage role. And like, that's kind of his thing. He plays a little bit more in passing downs, but Walker to me, like, he seems like one of those guys like that needs to get into the flow and rhythm of the game. And just, 10 carries is just not enough for a player of his talent. This is a really tough spot for Texans run game too. Like, I want to see a post-buy rookie bump for Woody Marks, but this is a really tough spot. Seattle's arguably the best run defense in the league right now, 2.9 yards per carry. They're the only defense that hasn't allowed an explosive play yet this season on the ground of 15 or more yards. Yeah, they're playing out of their minds right now. Just great tackling, great line, obviously, but really great tackling. So tough spot for this run game. So it's going to have to be C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, hero ball.
No, I said on my show, if you want to see a quarterback get sacked 6-7 times and throw 3 picks, this is your game, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, it's it's a trouble spot, man. Nico's gonna have to ball out.
Not that bad, huh? Like,
I mean, it's a little bit hyperbolic, but yeah,
right.
This is a tough spot for Stroud for sure.
I mean, do you look at like Christian Kirk? Because I kind of think Christian Kirk is kind of sneaky. I've always been a little bit of a Christian Kirk stan, but I feel like there's a guy that
they're terrible through the slot. I mean, Seahawks can be burned through the slot, but like Brett was saying, I mean, they're going to be in that backfield all game long. Texans offensive line is trash.
Do you think, I guess if the O-line's bad and Stroud's bad, then I guess those rookies can't really help out that much, Brett?
No. No, I'm kind of just down. Other than Nico, I think Nico's pretty matchup proof. He'll throw some balls up to him, but other than that, I mean, you saw what Seattle did to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
and Houston's offensive line is exponentially worse. So this is going to be a bloodbath.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be taking some sack props because a win is a win is a win. And we got them all right. No more hidden Monday night games.
There's not a third Monday night game.
It's like a hidden track on a CD or something here. Okay, well that'll wrap it up, and I think we're right on time per usual, just under an hour and a half. Good luck to everybody in week number 7 for Brett Whitefield and Graham Barfield. I'm John Hansen. Keep liking and subscribing all the good stuff over at fantasypoints.com, and we'll catch you next week.